Hey everyone, it's Cyborg back again with Temp, and now we have issue number 5. So let's jump right into it in our ongoing Injustice series where we review every issue of the Injustice comics. Alright, so starting off, it looks like I have my first note on here on this one is I love starting off with Flash here, and I love how this whole setup is. He's on the longest road, the longest straight road in Australia, I guess, or the world, but it's in Australia, and it's 90 miles just straight road without any interruptions. I think that's an awesome concept, and I love that Flash can take such enjoyment out of that. Like, I never really thought about it, but it must be annoying to be Flash because you're constantly zipping around, but you're also constantly having to avoid all the obstacles in your way. I didn't really...
It's like everything solid is like the longest red light of all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I never really thought about it like that. Like, just because he can run really quick doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't have to avoid everything just like everyone else. So, I mean, he has quicker reaction times, but at the same time, your mind would be constantly running, trying to make sure you avoid everything. So that's pretty crazy. But I like the idea that, yeah, he takes such enjoyment out of that long, just uninterrupted road. I thought that was a really cool setup. And I love his quote, how they started out his chapter, and I love how they ended it later, and we'll get to that. But I love how they started with, I don't want to think today, or today I don't want to think, I just want to run. And I thought that it'd be a great Nike ad. Don't want to think today, I just want to run. But no, it was good, and I liked that little how that started off. And hey, the art's back to being good. The art in this chapter was great.
Improved.
Yeah, the art in this
shame
chapter.
about that very first page on the front cover, but everything else is fantastic.
Yeah, the front cover, as we talked a little bit before this episode. Yeah, Damian looks a little rough there, and so do some of the other characters. But yeah, the actual art in this, like, especially, I loved the art in Flash's chapter, the first chapter here. But we'll continue on. I loved Flash's inner monologue that he had during the protest while they're beating up Galaxer, Superman, and Wonder Woman, as they're just punching away at his spine and just paralyzing this kid at a protest. And Flash is kind of explaining that he should have helped him. He could have reacted 10 times in between punches, or in between each vertebrae breaking, and he just didn't. For some reason, he just froze and let them keep doing what they did, and I thought that was a powerful thing, and it led to an even more powerful thing coming up.
Yeah, that's. I think everyone has been in some situation in their life where they're like, I should really do the right thing,
and then you just freeze. Yeah, you're just like, I don't like. It's not because you don't want to do the right thing, but you never know how that person's gonna react. You don't know. Yeah, that's rough.
Well, sometimes like the wrong thing keeps going on, and you have to remake the decision to not do the right thing. The wrong thing takes a long time to transpire, and you have to continually make the decision to not do the right thing. It's just an awful feeling.
Yeah,
so it's the worst.
Yep. So we can sympathize with the Flash there, and then we go to Batman unrevoking his communicator because in the last issue he gets his communicator access revoked. Superman tells Cyborg to shut it down, so he can't use the communicator anymore to communicate with the Justice League. But I like how Batman just unrevokes it because he made the system, and it reminded me of somebody going up to rip the sunglasses off somebody's face, and as they rip those sunglasses off, they're already wearing another pair of sunglasses underneath.
I have a feeling that's where you were going, yeah.
Like, that's exactly like... You can't revoke his access. He's just going to have unlimited. It's like Superman crushing the communicator, and Batman just pulls another one out of his pocket and puts it in. And it's just an endless loop. Like, it's just good stuff there. And then...
It's worth mentioning that there's not one but two flashbacks. Or flash forwards. There's two flash forwards that start off the chapter.
Sure.
So with Flash,
no pun intended, of course.
Flash forward, and with Batman we have another flash forward.
Yeah.
And those are answered in the center part of the comic.
Yeah, and then we have Damn the Feels coming on when Flash goes... Basically, Batman asks Flash to forget going to get the ambulance, go to the kid's room for whatever reason. He wants him to go to the lab or wherever this kid was staying, and because he was beefed up by the government for whatever reason, And the kid, I guess it turns out the kid wanted to be a superhero his entire life. He idolized these superheroes. He had a picture with the Flash that was signed by the Flash. Flash doesn't even remember taking the picture because, as they state in the comic, you're a celebrity, you are the superhero. You probably don't remember taking that picture because you take thousands, millions of them, whereas to this kid, that one picture just probably made his entire life. So that was a bit pulling on the heartstrings there. This comic rough. Is pretty
in a good way, but it was
rough. This comic is pretty damn good at bringing on the feels so far.
Isn't it weird how good it is?
Yeah, there's been two or three. There's been 2 or 3 moments where I was just like, man, that is like I just sighed heavily, like, man, that's right in the feels. But yeah, when Flash realized that the kid idolized him, and then he just stood there watching him get paralyzed probably for the rest of his life, like, oh man, that really, like, that Batman guilt trip though. Just like he just laid it on Flash so thick. And then Flash runs away from his problems because he's having a rough day. Not as rough as poor Galaxer or whatever, just paralyzed on the floor.
It's gonna be a rough 50 years for him. It's gonna be a lot of not walking.
But poor Barry, not feeling too happy with the way he handled things so far. He's definitely in those shoes of helping Superman, but he's the one that's showing the most like resentment and hesitation right now. And that's kind of where the chapter closed on. And I gotta say, so far, that Flash chapter is probably my favorite that we've had thus far, that we've read thus far in this series. I know we're only 5 issues in, but so far that chapter in its own little self-contained, that was deep. That was good.
Let me look at my notes. I might agree with you.
Because the art was good too. The art, everything was hitting full force. You had art, you had the feels, you had some good moments, you had some good characterizations, interactions between the characters. It was rough, but good.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that really came close is the Harley Quinn era stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Reprises, thankfully, too. But
right.
Yes, this is by far, I agree, the highlight of everything.
And then also worth mentioning, I did like how Flash equated the kangaroo on the road and the big train car, or whatever the heck they call it, that's just ginormous truck that's going down this road is so heavy and just brute force and going at a fast speed. Probably didn't. He makes mention that it probably didn't even notice the kangaroo, nor could it even stopped in time. But he stopped. The fastest man in the world stopped and noticed the kangaroo, and then he kind of equated that back to the kid. So that was also another powerful moment. But let's move away from the fields.
Something bright. Although I will say, for being hit by a train, that kangaroo held up
pretty well. Yeah, it wasn't like if that was real life, its body parts would be all over the place and probably be unrecognizable. But yeah, it looked like it was just like taking a permanent nap on the road. Like it was clearly dead, but it wasn't a bloody mess. Probably for whatever reason, maybe the rating of the comic, I don't know. Granted, we did see Joker get like punched through his, chest, but I guess there wasn't a whole lot of blood there either.
Also, if you saw his face, he was enjoying it, so it takes a lot of the sting.
Okay, so then, and I guess we saw Ares in a bloody mess too. So it's not that they can't be bloody. Maybe they just wanted to spare the whole kangaroo because it's an animal and all that.
It's probably hard to draw a liquid kangaroo.
A liquid kangaroo, that's true. There's probably no reference point, hopefully.
I hope not.
I hope. Please don't Google liquid kangaroo, because roadkill kangaroo or any of that nastiness. All right, let's move on to chapter 2 here. First thing I wrote here is Two-Face's coin, and then a bunch of exclamation points, because just fucking Superman just wrecks that coin, which is just an awful, awful, awful thing to do.
A lot of cruelty in this one. That's definitely
Two-Face coin.
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad for him, but I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt bad for Two-Face. I'm flipping a Two-Face. Why can't I say words, dude? I'm like all over the place today. Two-Face coin. I'm flipping a Two-Face coin as we talk. Anyways, I'll put that down because I'm getting distracted. But yeah, he just flat out just melts the coin, and Two-Face is going crazy, wondering what the result would be. But yeah, I felt bad for him. He's clearly getting overpowered. Superman sits down for a nice little interview on the news anchor. Stops Two-Face, obviously. And then, yeah, they're just asking him questions. They ask him, did you kill the Joker? That's what the rumor on the street is. And Superman just outright says, yes, I did. He at least was honest about it, and he's unapologetic about it. But then it's clear what his intentions are. He's basically, him and the Justice League are saying, no more chances for the bad guys. No more chances for the Arkham inmates. No more chances for anybody that's a continuous offender. We're just going to... They say they're going to take them to a place where they're never going to be able to mess with anybody ever again, but we all know where that is. It's called Saturn, and there's going to be a big old pile of bodies on Saturn, because that was what was hinted before. Oh...
I'm hoping it's Saturn. I would like to see a lot of Arkham bodies on Saturn.
We're gonna see some.
I think I'd enjoy that.
I don't want to. I was fearing. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, please don't kill Two-Face. Please. I mean, I don't expect him to come in the game, but yeah, that was...
There was a moment like that coming up with the Mad Hatter where I was like, no, I felt really bad for him. But
the next thing I want to point out is there's a panel in here. Speaking of the art, there's just bad placement where Batman's nose looks really elongated. Did you notice that?
Oh, maybe. I don't like the My Son panel. I laughed a lot because it was a silly face. But was there another one?
No, there was another one. Batman, when he's trying to get Damian to get on the plane to go to Arkham, he's trying to get... I'm going to copy it and send it to you real quick. But
is it the panel with "so what" and then it shows the three of them staying together after that?
Yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It looks like Batman's nose because it's like
look bird-like.
It's because it's a piece that's like in the background that happens to be the same color as his suit. So it's just... I'm gonna put it in the video for everyone to be able to see as we're talking. But it looks like a beak.
It does look like light is reflecting off a giant nose. I see it now for sure.
It looks like a beak. Anyways, moving on from that. Yeah. So that's all I really had to say about this chapter. Is it kind of ends there, and then we keep it going they're gonna head to Arkham, or they do head to Arkham in this chapter, and they basically, Batman and Nightwing meet up, and it all comes together. Even Harley and Green Arrow come together, but we'll move on to the next chapter. So everyone gets to Arkham basically. Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, they're all walking in with Two-Face, and they basically start saying, all right, start unlocking doors. We're going to take them away or whatever. And doors start opening. They open up Zaz, who is taunting them. Calendar Man, of course, no one even seems to remember Calendar Man. Like, Damian's like, yeah, don't, like Zaz, and then... the other guy, like he can't remember, he's struggling to remember his name, and Calendar Man gets upset because of that, and then he references a date he had with Wonder Woman, which wasn't really a date, of course, but then she doesn't even remember, or at least he alludes to her.
Zaz is a good showing here too.
Yeah, Zaz is basically mocking Superman, saying, you know what, each scar on my body, each little tally mark scar on my body is a kill that somebody I killed. Well, you've got some scars now, don't you? Like another sick burn to Superman. Everyone's going in on Superman. It's great.
This is probably my favorite, though. This one's good.
But yeah, that one was a good one. And then they start opening up his cell door, and all of a sudden he just poofs, disappears. Batman's not sure what the heck is going on. He thinks maybe it's the Flash, and he opens up the Mad Hatter's door, and all of a sudden he poofs and vanishes. And everyone just starts brawling, like they're just kind of... everything's coming to a head, basically. And Batman hits the little... because he warned Cyborg to knock it off, stop opening doors. Stop opening those doors. Stop it. Stop it. No. And he hits the little thing on his belt, and of course, just like Batman's known to have, he has a little backup plan to take down every Justice League member. Apparently, he implemented this in his system a week after meeting Cyborg, which was great, because Batman's always one of those characters where it's like, he does everything for the thing of good, but he's not afraid to get his hands dirty with the way he goes about doing the good things. And this is just a prime example of him getting his hands dirty, clearly being just a horrible person, invasion of privacy, and just having a backup plan to take everyone down. He's just very cautious, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. He's a very cautious human being.
He's prepared.
Yes, he's always prepared. But yeah, so he shocks the hell out of Cyborg. Cyborg's like freaking out on the ground. Then eventually Nightwing turns it off, and then we get Green Arrow and Harley. Like you said, Green Arrow brings Harley in to Arkham, unaware of the things that are transpiring at the moment, and he's just taking her into Arkham because I guess she started a fire in the Arrow Cave, and she told him please stop calling it that because he hasn't switched to the Quiver yet, which I don't understand why. I mean, he admitted it was better. Why did he call it? Maybe he just doesn't want to give her the satisfaction of changing the name. But anyways, he's bringing her in. But then he realizes, oh crap, everyone else is here, so he leaves her with a guard. She knocks out the guard, breaking his nose for like the 4th time, as they mentioned in the comic. And, we can't forget the fake mustache is brought back. Oh, yeah. It's not just a fake mustache, folks. It's also a lockpick. Like, who would have seen that coming? It's a fake mustache lockpick. It's tremendous. She gets herself out of the handcuffs, breaks the nose, of course, starts letting out all of the Arkham inmates. But one in particular being Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, and all that fun stuff. Tells everybody just go crazy, start wrecking the place, and she says over the intercom, at least defend yourselves against Superman, because Superman's here to basically kill everybody, and hell breaks loose, everything's going crazy. It was revealed in the last chapter, which we overlooked a little bit, but Damian was... Oh, wait, we mentioned that he was there, but he's actually on the side of Superman. Not really surprising, but he turncoated against his own father, but that's kind of the way Damian is, because he's very into murder and all that.
Yeah, they even say, I think Dick Grayson says, you're 13 years old. How are you the darkest thing in this cave?
Yeah, that was a good line, yeah.
It's a great line, yeah.
But yeah, that's where we... essentially leave off is Solomon Grundy. All the Arkham inmates are just going crazy, and Solomon Grundy comes out of the ground, and they're left. Everything's in peril. Everything's going crazy. Solomon Grundy grabs Damian, and it looks like he takes him down into the hole. Batman's freaking out, but he's being held back by Killer Croc, so now we don't know what happens to Damian, so it's left on a cliffhanger. Solid issue. It was really good.
Yeah. I probably... God, the Flash stuff makes it probably the strongest one yet.
Carried it, yes.
I think it would be on par absolutely. If it wasn't for the Flash material.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Just looking at my notes, I have about 5 things for the Flash section. In the next 2 chapters, I only have 2 things. And they're more just silly things that I wanted to point out. Very joking things and whatnot. But yeah, I definitely agree. It was carried by the Flash chapter, but the Flash chapter was so strong. And the rest wasn't bad. It just wasn't... I mean, it had its moments. Each chapter had its moments. So the Two-Face stuff, the coin... and that whole thing leading up to going to Arkham and then bringing the Green Arrow and Harley arc back, having them come to Arkham as well, which I wasn't expecting, but it makes total sense that we're wrapping these things together. It's a little bit like Sin City, where you have several stories playing out at once, so I was glad to see that come to a head. But yeah, so that was a nice surprise. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on the Flash segment being what really pulled this up. It went from... if we're throwing out a rating, it went from like a 7 to a 9 because of that. So yeah, it definitely went in that direction. So good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we needed the Flash, especially because the whole Superman turning evil is happening a little too quickly, in my opinion. It's feeling less and less organic, a little less and less justified.
Yeah,
I feel like we got to breaking kids' backs a little too quickly. I don't feel like they've earned that yet. But when you have the contrast of Flash, it kind of it brings you back. It reminds you, like, we know this is happening quick, and it's fucked up. It pulled me back in.
Absolutely. And Flash is just his powers are so fun to read in comics. I love the moment, I didn't mention it earlier. I mentioned that he went to the labs, but just the way they did it, where Batman's like, no, don't go to the ambulance, go to the labs, and then the next panel is Flash is like, okay, I'm here. It's just like, it's just that simple. I love it. And the couch thing that we mentioned before. Good stuff. Anyways, that's about it for this issue. Issue number, what was that, 5? Yeah, 5.
I think so.
Yep, yes. Issue number 5. So stay tuned, everyone. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully you guys are digging this series. I'm having a blast, and we'll see you with issue number 6. See you tomorrow.
Catch you later.